You also prove my argument there as well. In a sense, like if you can become a pro athlete, if you're working towards that, right, you're most likely doing that. Hopefully you don't squander your money, but you're doing that at a younger age. But I know from experience in tech, most times it's taking you a few years before you even touch a decent amount of money.
No.
You don't think?
What's a decent amount of money? A lot of athletes go broke.
Right,
because they get this large sum of money at one time, and they don't have the financial literacy, and they get it while they're young.
Right.
And they don't have the financial literacy or the backing to be smart with their money. What's going on, tech team? It is Just My Tech Sense, where we talk tech, finance, and lifestyle. I'm WillDoesTech, and I'm joined by my co-host,
JohnnieTech. What's up, Tech?
JohnnieTech. Round of applause.
Sir.
Round of applause once again because we have shown up and we're being consistent when we don't have to be.
All day, every day.
But we want to be, so we're here. And we have a fun one today. Johnnie wants to talk about whether or not he should have spent all his time when he was young focused on technology, or should he have continued down the path that he chose and became a D2 athlete. And what we're really trying to get after here is whether or not pro money is better than tech money.
Okay, that's a good topic, right? And I want to tell a quick story before we start.
Okay.
Right? So
story time.
This is me and my buddy, this is after I graduated college, everything. I used to go to the gym. Still, I had a job and everything, but I still was in the gym, working out, putting in work for it.
Shooting in the gym?
This is a few months after college. I'm like, you know what? I was like, man, we really should put the time in to try to maybe go overseas or see what we can do. I was like, because if we put enough time in going pro, the money that we make going pro is probably going to outweigh, even if we play 1 year in the pros, probably would outweigh what we make in whatever career field that we got into, right? So that was actually a conversation that I had. I think it was like 22 years old. And I was like, 1 year of pro could change your life versus, focusing on a new craft. So with that being said,
I'm about to say that's it.
No, that was
okay.
I'm just saying that was a mindset
that
I had. Like, okay, just think having the mindset of saying like being a pro athlete. I think the scales of it is just up here versus working a regular 9 to 5 or whatever you're doing. Being a pro athlete, it just has way more prestige, and you have the assumption that you're going to make a lot more money.
So let me ask you this, Johnnie. Right? How many years did you spend putting in time trying to become an athlete?
So I was always an athlete, but let's just say going pro. Like, so when I think I played,
but you didn't go pro.
No, I did not go.
He
pro.
did not go pro.
For the record,
he played D2 ball.
For the record, I did not go pro. All right, but I played basketball since I was like 8 years old.
Okay,
right. So 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
First time I started playing, I played all sports, and then I think I started taking it a lot more serious around maybe 9, 10, 11, playing middle school,
You make any money?
I spent a lot of money.
Oh, okay. No, you're right. You spent money, right?
A little bit of
Your
money.
mama spent money.
She didn't spend that much money. I'm like, Mom, you could have spent a little bit more money.
Travel ball. No,
I didn't play travel ball.
Don't put that on your mama.
I didn't play travel ball.
Don't put that on your mom.
She said basketball is a hobby. I'm like, Mom, this is real. She's like,
you gonna put that on your mom?
That's exactly what she told me. She would get on here and say, no, I always told my kids that this sport is a hobby. She did not push me to play sports. I was like, Mom.
So you need your mom to push you in order to. No,
I needed her to pay for camps and all that stuff.
Oh, so okay.
She did not pay for that stuff. So.
Okay, so let's say you started at 8 years old, right? You're trying to perfect your craft at 8 years old, and then let's say we'll give you 21, right? 3 years in college, right? And then you went to the pros, but that didn't happen. So you spent 13 years of putting in this work, right. And there's no fruit outside of you. Playing D2 ball.
Yeah. Like
feeling
as far as career, like
yeah,
I definitely say sports has its positives. You learn a lot from it. You can gain a lot from it.
Sure.
But right now we want to talk about financially.
Well, and this is what I'm leading into, right? We are talking financial, but also that what goes into that is what are the chances of you making it to a sports team, right? Because you have to factor that in, right?
Right.
You can't just say if you make it, right? Because more times than not, right? When I looked at the stats, it was 0.023 of high schoolers that play football will make it to the NFL. 0.023, right? Not even 1%. NBA, 0.03% of those high schoolers who played high school ball. Baseball, 0.027%. So your chances are extremely low, right? Let's just put that on the table, right? You spend all this time perfecting your craft, and more likely you're not going to make it, right? So let's just put that out there. We don't have to talk about it anymore. We just know your chances of making it are slim to none.
Right. Understood.
Okay. So that is there, right? Because I think you're going to argue that being pro ball, getting, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, that it's better to go that route, get that money, than it is to have a tech career. Is that what you're going to argue? Or are you going to argue otherwise?
I'm in the middle because it all depends. Like, I definitely think if you're
man.
like, no,
we got a middle, man.
If you
come on, man, make
things
a
happen.
decision.
Listen, no,
get off
the reason I'm in the middle is because if you're legitimately have the talent, I think you should pursue that talent until you can't anymore, right?
How many people make it with just talent?
Yeah, you have to put, like, you have the talent. You pursuing that talent is putting in all the work behind it, right?
Okay.
So if you're growing up and you seem like you're a little bit taller than everybody else, you're a little bit stronger, a little bit more athletic than everybody, and coaches are all over you, like, hey, you need to do this. You probably should listen to those coaches and
so
go
that was your story.
No, I was just putting in the work in just because I loved it. I love the game. I'm like, man, I was small, I was skinny, and they was like, man, I don't know, man. I was like, I'm gonna do it, but I got some size over time.
Yeah,
but
look, don't let the podcast fool you. How tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
He's 6'2". I'm 5'8". So again, like that is there. Like, we look level here. He is built for basketball, kinda. I mean, 6'2" is small in the NBA.
It is small. I was a small player when I was trying to go to recruits. Like, is he 6'5"? And they was like, oh no, we're looking for 6'5" and above.
Yeah.
Like,
no, that ain't gonna work. So again, there are things outside of what you can even help that come into play.
So I mean, there are things if you want to be a pro player, there are a lot of obstacles that's going to be in your way. Like you said, you could be a great player, and then you hit puberty, and you're like, oh man, I'm not going to be as great as I thought. Like, everyone else has gotten way taller than me. Yeah. So that's the negative side of it. But I still say, like, just like the story I told, if you can become pro, the salaries, are extremely high. I think
talk to me.
The minimum salary for NBA, I think the minimum salary for an NBA guy right now is like, I think it was $900,000 last time I checked. But let me get it was $900,000 last time I checked. But I know veterans have a minimum of $1 million. That's NBA. MLB makes a ton of money. So just 1 year, if you play 1 year in the league, you're looking at being a millionaire just off 1 year.
No, you're not.
I know what you're gonna bring up, but go ahead.
What am I gonna bring up? Taxes.
Yeah.
Right. Taxes, agents. Other things that you have to worry about too, as far as funding. So,
well, you tell me if do you feel like tech pros are doing better than athletes?
Yeah, 100%.
You think so?
Yep. So here's my argument, right? So looking at my numbers, right, the median, not even average, because again, you got LeBron James, and we're talking about the median of players. Let's say, and the NBA is at 6.7 million is the median. NFL is 860,000 is the median, and then for MLB, it's 1.35. The average career for NBA is 5 years. Average career for NFL is 3 years. And then the average for MLB is 6 years, right? And when you total that up, NFL is about 2.6 million. NBA is 33.5 million, right? All high numbers. I got it. And
making a lot of money.
And you feel like I'm maybe proving your point, even though you're on the fence. And then MLB is 8.1 million. But again, that doesn't include taxes. Now, when you look at the tech side of things, right, at the low end, let's say $100,000. Now, if you take that and you multiply that by, let's say, 45 years, because you can quit tech when you want to quit tech.
Right.
So let's say 45 years, and we're looking at 4.5 million. But what typically happens, and again, we're not including taxes or anything like that, but what typically happens after you get done playing professional sports?
What typically happens?
Yeah, what typically happens to...
You go to broadcasting.
No,
no, that's not.
That's not typical.
That's what you need to do.
If you can, but that's limited, right?
Right. No,
but a lot of athletes go broke.
Right.
Because they get this large sum of money at one time, and they don't have the financial literacy, and they get it while they're young,
right? And
they don't have the financial literacy or the backing to be smart with their money.
I mean, you also prove my argument there as well, in a sense, like if you can become a pro athlete, if you're working towards that, right, you're most likely doing that. Hopefully, you don't squander your money, but you're doing that at a younger age. But I know from experience in tech, most times it's taking you a few years before you even touch a decent amount of money.
No.
You don't think?
What's a decent amount of money?
To get, I would say 6 figures.
I would say 85,000.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's decent, right?
But if
I can say that you can make that in 2 or 3 years.
When you're a pro, let's say you go to college 2 years, right? Then you're 20 years old. If you get drafted, even if you're a second round,
capital I, capital F,
you're a second round draft pick. You're most likely still a millionaire at 20 years old.
I understand that, but the thing is, when you become a millionaire, can you keep that? Right, because a lot of times when you get $1 million, it's hard to keep that.
We're talking about the avenue though.
We're talking about the salary and the entirety of a career.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. But the argument you're going at right now with the financial literacy.
Because you have time. You have time to make mistakes.
Right.
Right. You're not making big mistakes. You get big money, you make big mistakes. You buy the Lamborghinis, you buy the mansions.
You don't have to.
But most people do, right? Because it's this lifestyle that they're expected to uphold.
Right.
Right. So again, because of this peer pressure, they are now caving to that and buying all these things. And they're not thinking about property taxes. They're not thinking about just everything that comes along with fame and all this money that they get at one time as a person, man or woman, that hasn't fully developed, right? So they have these adults that are in their ear that aren't necessarily doing the greatest thing, the best thing for them, and they're making these mistakes young. It's hard to rebound when you're making big mistakes young. So when you look at Mike Tyson, you look at Evander Holyfield, you look at all these athletes that go broke, right? It's not, they make a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a different age of athletes going on right now, though. I mean, you got Jaylen Brown, you got Jason Tatum. These guys are young and they've been making.
They're the exception. Right, but they're not the rule.
But there's also people like I know who played in the league.
Who you know?
I know a couple people, man. I don't know them personally, but I know of them, man. And I ain't gonna put nobody out there, but like they definitely like you can go. Let's say right now you've been working your whole life. You only get 2 seasons, right? And this is where you gotta have your mental fortitude to say like, okay, I know I may not have the grand career, or even everyone should think like that, but it's like I'm gonna come in. If you're 20 years old, 21 years old, you go to the NFL, MLB, whatever. That first contract you make is not gonna be a lot, but it's still a substantially amount more money than whatever someone's doing at a 9 to 5. So let's say you get paid $600,000 contract, and you take that $600,000, you only play 2 seasons, but now you're $700,000 richer. You could take that money and invest it and do a lot of other things.
But why?
You're saying what they're not doing, right? But I'm saying what they could do. So I'm still.
But they're
I'm
not.
Saying that
but they're not, and that's why the exception. When you hear of these athletes that have invested in franchises and all these things that are making it big, doing other things outside of sports, it's an anomaly. You don't hear that often.
But I would argue the same thing would happen to tech, like with tech professionals, right? If they get it at a young age, right? Because people know NBA, NFL, they know athletes are young and they know they're gonna make mistakes and people are predatory against them. So let's say if young tech professionals, people could start doing the same thing to them because they know that they're getting paid, and they are doing it on a smaller scale.
But it's sustainable, right? Because if you are making a certain amount in tech, and let's say you're making $200,000 at 21, you're probably going to make $200,000 at 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, right? Because your experience, your skills continue to climb, right? So, and I'm just saying, you're staying at $200,000 at 21. You're not going to be at $200,000 at 30. Right. Chances are you're going to be way higher than that, right? So I set the bar low, possibly. Chances are you're going to be higher, right? More than likely, you'll be higher, right? And again, I said 100,000. We both know a career in tech, 100,000 is low. You're not making 100,000, right? No. How long you been in tech?
How long have I been in tech?
Yeah.
For a number of years.
Yeah, and you've been over 100,000 for a number of years. Right? And we both have, right? So again, it's just one of those things that this isn't even reality.
Right.
At the same time, it's more sustainable. And if something happens to this job, you can flex somewhere else, right? When it comes to pro athletes, when they get done with their, what they've done their entire life from being a child, they've worked towards this, they lose their identity for the most part. And they don't know what to do. Right. If they're not broadcasting,
or they're not within the sport. I mean, I've seen, even on IG, I am like, to your point, I'm seeing some of the athletes now, they're like, they play college or whatever. I think it's one guy, I don't know if he's trained, I don't know his name on IG, but he was like, people don't talk about this enough. And it's like a video of him working at a warehouse, and then it shows highlights of it. It shows his basketball highlights. It's like, I didn't know this was going to be the greatest time of my life. I'm like, you should have, but.
You don't, because you don't think it's going to end, right? Everybody thinks they're going to be Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, right? They're going to play into their 40s, right? They're going to be the exception.
Some people are delusional, but,
Most people are, right? When that's all that you have done, you think you're going to be LeBron, everybody playing to the 40s. That is the exception, man.
Right,
and it's not the exception for tech, right? You start in tech at 20, right? Outside of like mass layoffs, you can still find a job elsewhere. It might take a year or two, but you can still find a job. And you can work that till you're 65, 70.
Maybe.
You can. There's no physical limitation.
But there's still a prototype for.
But there's no physical limitation, right? Like there is for like
basketball. You got a short lifespan. You can be like LeBron James. He's in his 40s. Yeah, he's an extreme exception.
And they're calling him old, right? He's 40,
and they're saying he might be doing questionable things. No, I'm not gonna talk about. Okay. But okay.
So yeah, what are your thoughts on whether or not you would rather have a large tech salary, or whether you would rather be a pro athlete and make that salary if you could be less than. I
mean, if you could, I'm sure everybody would, but
right. Let's
rephrase the question. If you had an opportunity, it's like you have to go down. You don't know what your skills are going to be. You're 10 years old. They say you got to take this tech path, or you got to take this pro basketball player path. Which path would you choose, not knowing the outcome?
Better yet, if you had a child and you had to raise them, which way would you send them? The tech path, because you know that the money is probably for sure, or the athletic athlete, and the money is big if you get there, but you may not get there. So
what most people are doing, but
that is. that is true. It's more fun, but anyway,
I know what I do.
So
I'd like to hear what you guys had to say about it.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, all those things. I'm WillDoesTech.
JohnnieTech.
We're JustMyTechCents, and we'll talk to y'all later.
Out.